everybody, and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverdi. Today we've got stories of hope and triumph.
That's right. We're going behind the mystery to learn about NOH, and that's Neurogenic Orthostatic Hypotension.
And I'll be talking to a truly inspirational woman who is not letting her blindness stop her.
Plus, great information for new moms, and it all starts right now.
We all know that breast milk is the gold standard for infant nutrition, and as parents, we want to give our babies the very best. But the reality is, not every mom can breastfeed, and finding a formula you can trust can be overwhelming. Will it have the nutrients your baby needs? Is it a good replacement for breast milk? So many questions. Well, today, groundbreaking science is bringing unique nutrients from breast milk to formula-fed babies for the first time ever. Joining me this morning to discuss all of this is Dr. Rachel Buck, a research fellow at the global healthcare company Abbott. As a discovery scientist in the field of immune health, Rachel works on the forefront of infant nutrition. Good morning.
Good morning, Olga.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Let's talk first about breastfeeding and the benefits behind it.
Well, I would say, first of all, as a research scientist and as a mom of 3 rambunctious boys.
You have your hands full.
I have my hands full, and I have been studying the benefits of breast milk for a long time, over 2 decades, to understand the benefits of breastfeeding and ultimately how to improve infant formulas. And breastfeeding is so important for emotional and physical bonding with your baby, but also breast milk contains a myriad of nutrients to help babies' immune system development and optimize health and development in general. And it's very important. In fact, everybody knows that breastfeeding is the gold standard, and it's referred to as a unique recipe that is as old as humankind. And what's so special about breast milk is that in supporting the immune development, exclusive breastfeeding is actually associated with fewer infections.
For women who can't breastfeed, and I know a lot of my friends told me, you know, Olga, I can't do it, I don't have the time, or I just can't produce enough breast milk. There are formulas today, or there is a formula with groundbreaking science. What is this ingredient that's really changing the way and giving women a new option, which is fantastic?
Yes, it's tremendously exciting. Breast milk is the gold standard of nutrition, but the reality is not all mums can breastfeed, and I can speak to that personally. I couldn't exclusively breastfeed my babies, and so it was so important for me to commit my career to developing infant formulas as close to breast milk as possible. And today I'll talk about a very important group of molecules called human milk oligosaccharides. It's a bit of a mouthful.
It's a big word.
Big word, but human milk oligosaccharides, or HMOs for short, are so important. They're abundant in breast milk. They're slightly more prevalent than protein. We've all heard of protein. And they've previously only been available to breastfed babies. So what do? Well, human milk oligosaccharides feed the gut bacteria in baby's gut, and that means where 70% of the immune system is found, and that means human milk oligosaccharides help the gut and they help the immune system. And for the first time, Abbott brought a formula with human milk oligosaccharides called 2FL in Similac, brought an infant formula with this molecule to benefit formula-fed babies.
And I think it's important to talk about a study that I know you conducted where you compared babies who were breastfed and babies who received Similac. What did you find?
Yes, well, this was breakthrough research. In fact, over 2 decades of research, publishing in multiple journals and multiple papers, we focused on a very important molecule called 2FL, and it's the most abundant HMO in breast milk. And this molecule, what we showed was that Similac with 2FL HMO supports the developing immune system of formula-fed babies to be more like breastfed babies. And it's a significant breakthrough. It's a very important benefit to give to formula-fed babies to help the developing immune system more like breastfed babies. So it's personally and professionally very rewarding and meaningful to me and the team.
And rewarding for moms who know their babies are getting something very good.
Yes, very, very important, because this is so near and dear to my heart, because...
You're very passionate about it.
Yes, I'm very passionate because up until this point, only breastfed babies could benefit from human milk oligosaccharides. And now for the first time, babies fed Similac with 2FL, formula-fed babies can benefit from this very important molecule to support their developing immune system. And we're committed to helping all babies thrive. And it's a tremendous breakthrough and a very important benefit for all babies.
And it can give moms peace of mind, a baby what he or she needs.
Yes.
Doctor, where can our viewers go for more information on Similac?
For more information on Similac with 2FL, they can go to Similac.com.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And of course, if you'd like more information on any of this, you can go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
I was kind of finding my way down the stairs one evening or one night, and I just suddenly felt myself just sort of falling off the stairs and down to the bottom level of the house.
Today on Behind the Mystery, we're talking to Keith, his wife Linda, and how they're living with neurogenic orthostatic hypotension, or NOH. Never heard of it? Well, let's start with the basics. N, neurogenic, associated with the nervous system. O, orthostatic, related to standing up. H, hypotension, abnormally low blood pressure. In the studio this morning to help us understand this condition is neurologist Dr. Stuart Isaacson. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to hear from Keith and his wife Linda in just a bit, but first let's talk about what is NOH. I've never heard of it.
Well, NOH, as you just pointed out, is neurogenic orthostatic hypotension. And it's a condition that's not very common, but occurs in people who have Parkinson's disease and some related conditions called multiple system atrophy. And the problem with NOH is usually when we stand up, we release a chemical called norepinephrine. And this causes the blood vessels to constrict and the heart to beat faster. So blood pressure comes up and we don't feel like the blood pressure is dropping. We don't have feelings of lightheadedness or dizziness. Many people with Parkinson's disease, probably about 1 in 5, have symptoms from NOH. And when they stand up, not enough norepinephrine is released and the blood pressure goes down and down. And they begin to develop lightheadedness and dizziness, and they might even pass out.
So in terms of how many people are affected, it's 1 in 5.
1 in 5 will have symptoms, and these may be provoked by dehydration or not feeling well or taking medication that may lower blood pressure. And then when symptoms come out, we have to pay attention to the symptoms. And one way we do this is we have people check their blood pressure. They can check it in the visit when they come to our office. They can check it at home. Often after breakfast might be a time of day when it's the lowest. They can keep a diary of how it changes around mealtime or after meals or when they're lying in bed at night. And when we find the blood pressure drops, we always look for a key point, which is at the heart rate. Usually when blood pressure falls and someone feels lightheaded, the heart rate goes up and up and up. But in neurogenic orthostatic hypotension, in NOH, the heart rate doesn't change much at all. And that's really a key for a doctor or nurse to make the diagnosis of NOH.
We recently spent the day with Keith, who has Parkinson's, and his wife, Linda. His diagnosis of NOH came several years into the onset of Parkinson's. Let's hear more.
I think he had a little trouble.
Do you want some more coffee?
Sure.
A little bit of fruit?
Yeah.
Okay. Get the coffee.
It was 10 years after his Parkinson's diagnosis that Keith and his wife Linda noticed signs and symptoms of what would eventually be diagnosed as NOH. Episodes were sporadic.
You know, kind of stumbling as after being in a car ride or going up a set of steps. Why all of a sudden would you be dizzy?
That was the time when we thought it was just a periodic event that was happening every now and then.
The NOH diagnosis was a little bit more difficult because initially I just thought it was the other shoe that fell off with Parkinson's. Keith had a couple falls, not just down the steps, but a couple general falls, like, okay, does this mean this is what happens with Parkinson's? And we'd been educated enough to know that everybody is different. So we were also very fortunate that our general practitioner and our movement specialist spoke to each other. So between the two of them came up with, okay, we've got some blood pressure issues here.
Keith, a former pilot and self-described gym rat, has learned to manage his NOH symptoms. He makes sure to drink more water along with other lifestyle changes as recommended by his doctor.
The enemy is impatience. That sometimes you're in a situation where you don't know how severe your episode's going to be, and so I now have a routine where I get up and I will give the blood a chance to and the blood pressure to equalize, and I've been able to avoid any mishaps. Just following a simple, set of rules.
They keep a blood pressure log and communicate regularly with their healthcare team.
Communication with your doctor is extremely important.
College sweethearts, the Halls have always been an on-the-go family. They're taking steps to help ensure they continue to stay active, even with Keith's Parkinson's and NOH.
When Keith's first initial diagnosis, to me, it wasn't devastating. I'm always taken aback when people say that. So to us, it was just part of what our journey was going to be. It might be tiring, but I think to have things move smoothly, and you do have to think about everything. So if you are traveling or you're going out, you make sure that you have your snacks and your water and your glasses, and it's just part of who we are and what we're doing.
And they're committed to spreading awareness.
I think the best thing is to look into what your local resources are. Support groups can be wonderful, but they also cannot be for everyone. Finding classes that you can either do together or finding your own thing that you can do.
Now, doctor, while you're not Keith's physician, can you relate this to how your experience has been with your patients?
Well, I think what we heard from Keith and his wife are that these symptoms come on very gradually. It's hard to sometimes recognize that they're new symptoms. He's had symptoms of Parkinson's for several years where he's had trouble maybe arising from a chair and walking and having good balance and movement. And now different symptoms may occur that can be confused with the mobility problems of Parkinson's. So it's important when you have any types of symptoms standing or after a meal to bring those up at a visit with the doctor and nurse and talk about how the symptoms may be different and may be early symptoms of NOH.
Now, doctor, once properly diagnosed, are there ways to manage NOH symptoms?
When they stand up, they should do it gradually. Sit at the side of the bed for a couple of minutes, then stand up, and before they walk, wait a couple of minutes. Sometimes squeezing the calf muscles or the gluteal muscles can help maintain blood pressure when they stand up as well. Some of our patients wear compression stockings, usually up to the waist, so it can really push the blood back from the stomach and also the legs. We tell our patients to remain well hydrated, to really concentrate on drinking a lot of water and other fluids and adding salt to their diet, especially drinking those fluids in the morning hours when blood pressure is lower. Some of our patients elevate the head of the bed when they sleep. And when they don't work, we have medications that can help as well. Our patients always have to talk with their doctors and nurses to make sure that whatever they're anticipating to do to try to treat this problem is done with medical guidance.
It's manageable, and that you can modify the response that you have to the NOH by being patient. You can live with it, and you can do well with it.
So, doctor, to summarize everything, what are the key things we need to remember here?
Well, I think it's important to realize that NOH is very common in Parkinson's. It's even more common in multiple system atrophy. And so whenever you have symptoms that occur when you stand up, always think that it could be a symptom of NOH and bring it up at the next visit with your doctor and nurse. And to make the diagnosis, the blood pressure has to be checked seated and also standing with the heart rate, and make that diagnosis. Because the diagnosis has to be made so we can use effective management to try to improve the symptoms and not have people doing less and less activity, becoming isolated, becoming depressed, not going out and going about their day because the blood pressure is too low.
Doctor, thank you so much for your time and all the information you've given us today.
Okay, thank you.
And if you'd like more information on NOH, you can go to this website, nohmatters.com, or just check out our website, thebalancingact.com. They call her the blind visionary because even though she's blind, she's had the vision to transform so many lives. Virginia Jaco lost her sight when she was in her 40s. But even though her world went dark, Virginia saw the light and found her purpose. Today, Virginia is the CEO of Miami Lighthouse for the Blind. Good morning.
Good morning, Olga.
Thank you so much for being here, Virginia.
Thank you.
First, before we talk about your amazing story, who is this precious dog?
This is my guide dog, Eva. She's my eyes. She's from Guiding Eyes for the Blind, and she's with me all the time.
She's really amazing.
Good girl.
Beautiful.
Good girl.
Virginia, let's talk about your blindness. What happened?
I slowly developed an eye disease where you lose your eyesight from the outside in. I say it's kind of like the hole in a donut. It gets smaller, smaller, smaller.
So you noticed it?
But I didn't notice it right away.
Oh, okay.
And then I couldn't start to see people on this side or that side. But when I went to the eye doctor, I was told I will become totally blind.
And what did you do after that?
You know, there was no time for tears. I was told by my mother, you need to turn this into something and help the blind.
So I know you left a pretty big position in Purdue University. You moved to Miami and you become a client for Miami Lighthouse for the Blind, right?
Right.
And a few years later after that, you do the most amazing thing. You become the first CEO.
That is totally blind.
That is totally
right?
blind for Miami Lighthouse for the Blind.
Uh-huh.
How did that feel at that moment?
It was a challenge, but I knew I could do it.
And you did, because I know the numbers have been amazing of what you've done. I believe you started with 500 people that went there to now 16,000?
Yes, during the time period I was CEO, the growth was about 34 times, from 500 to 16,000 each year.
We went to Miami Lighthouse for the Blind and witnessed all the good Virginia has done and how much everyone loves her. Take a look at this.
Good morning, everybody.
We should all mean as much to as many people as Virginia does. She's just been such a difference to so many people. You look at this, not just the physical growth, but what's happened in terms of the advancement of services here, of how many different ways this agency touches people's lives. And that's all Virginia.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Virginia is an inspiration. She's someone to be admired and a true leader. Without her, this place would not be what it is today. I mean, she has just brought so much growth to Miami Lighthouse that it's incredible. And I've seen that growth and I witnessed it firsthand, and it's truly amazing.
You love being here, don't you?
It's my passion.
Why? Why?
When I called my mother and said, Mom, I got my eye diagnosis. I'm going to go totally blind. My mother said, I'm going to pray then that you do big things for the blind. I said, Mom, I don't even know any blind people. She said, you will and you'll help them.
There is a child that is blind in our pre-kindergarten that's getting an early start, that will be mainstreamed, and in the future down the road might just be one of the next blind and president CEOs in this country, and it might just be at the Miami Lighthouse for the Blind.
It was really great to be there, to see what everyone says about you and the work you've done.
It's about blind babies. It's about the teenagers. It's about helping the blind get a job. And it's also about efficient use of the dollars people provide Miami Lighthouse. And that is why the National Evaluator Charity Navigator, they evaluate each year about 9,000 nonprofits. We are among the top 1%. In fact, the top 39 out of 9,000.
Your passion is amazing, and I know the job is still not over, right? So
There's much more to be done. Yes, there is.
How can anyone out there help Miami Lighthouse for the Blind and help the organization?
Of course, we always need donor support. And of course, if you know someone that is affected by vision loss, like a senior, contact Miami Lighthouse. Our website, Miami Lighthouse, all one word, .org.
I want to thank you so much for coming.
Olga, thank you.
And of course, if you'd like more information on Virginia or Miami Lighthouse for the Blind, you can also go to our website, and that's thebalancingact.com.
You know, I really love today's show. Some days we come in here, we laugh, we crack each other up, we cook, we do all kind of things. But today was so inspirational.
It was.
People taking challenges and overcoming them and making something out of their lives.
That's right, making a difference for us and for others out there. Fantastic stuff today. Of course, you can always go to our Facebook page for more inspirational stories, our website, or go to our Instagram.
That's right.
Hashtag, what is it?
Julie and Olga.
Julie and Olga.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. That's good. Yeah. Isn't that?